Alright, today we're going to talk about altitudes and medians, and here at the top of the note sheet I have a little activity we'll be doing in class. So since we're going to be doing this in class, I'm going to kind of let that go for now. I hope you enjoy the speech bubble that I put right here with this woman too. She's really excited about centroids. Anyway, so we're going to kind of go through this down here instead. Okay, so a median. What's a median? Well, if you draw a line from the midpoint of a side of a triangle to its opposite angle, you have got a median. So let's look at this picture that we have over here to the right. So if I find the midpoint of a side, notice that this little blue dot right here is my midpoint, and I draw it to the opposite angle. There's your median, okay? I could draw other triangles. I can draw them in all different shapes. So let's say we have this triangle. Let's say this is the midpoint. The opposite angle from here would be over there, okay? So I could say, there's your median. I could draw more triangles. Let's see, can I draw an obtuse triangle for you? There we go. There you go, just kind of winging it. So let's say that's the midpoint. And we're going to draw it to its opposite angle, which is going to be over there. Now think about this. If it's the midpoint, then this side and this side is congruent. Notice in the picture, these two pieces are congruent. Let's write that down. So BM would be congruent to MC, right? Same here. These two would be congruent. All right? So remember, median split that side in, what does it do? What does the median do? It splits the side into two congruent parts, okay? Two congruent parts. Splits the side into two congruent parts. So let's take what we know and let's apply it down here. Now, I'm going to start with number 2 because I think I'm going to have you do number 1 tonight. But let's look at number 2. AB is a median. I want you to realize as soon as you see this word, this means the side is in two congruent parts, okay? The side is in two congruent parts. This is important because we also learn altitudes today, and I don't want you to get them mixed up. So if AB is a median, that means this side and this side is congruent because this guy right here, that's a midpoint. All right, I'll write in midpoint so you don't get it mixed up. So it's point B is the midpoint. So these two sides are equal. So if these two sides are equal, we're literally going to set them equal to each other like this. Now what's the next thing you do here to solve? I would distribute the negative 2. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x, and negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. That all equals 20. What would you do next here? I would add the 8. So if I add the 8 to both sides, I have negative 2x equals 28. What's last to get x alone? Divide by negative 2, right? So if I divide by negative 2, I get negative 1, 4. So negative 14. And we're all done with that one. So I would like you to try this one. You can pause the video and you can try it now, or you can go back and do all of it at the end. Personally, when I watch videos, I watch them the first time and then I go through the second time and write everything down. Okay, so remember you have that option. Let's look at this example. So if we say, and you know what, I didn't write in the notes, but let's just say AB is a median. So if AB is a median, AB is a median, then the two parts are congruent. It splits up the two parts into congruent parts. So 2x equals 10 minus 4x. What would you do to both sides here? Well, a lot of students would be tempted to subtract 2x, and while that isn't wrong, I see them do incorrect things after they do that. So what I would suggest doing is adding 4x to both sides like this. So you're going to get 6x equals 10, and then from there, you divide by 6. Now don't get frightened. 10 over 6, what does that reduce to? What goes into 10 and 6 evenly? A 2. So this is going to be 5/3. There we go. See, don't be scared of the fractions. You totally got this. Don't even worry about it. All right, so let's keep moving along here. We're going to talk about altitudes. Now, altitude always forms a 90-degree angle, but to find that, it has to do with the height of the triangle. And students really struggle with height. So look at this picture over here. Notice that this height happens inside the triangle. And notice that it's wherever you see the 90 degree, right? This height right here happens on the outside of the triangle, or on the triangle, I should say. This happens on the triangle. Look at this one here. Do you see this? This height happens outside the triangle. But I want you to look at this. This is not a height. What is different about this one than the other three? What do the other three have that this is missing? Do you notice it's missing a 90 degree angle? I see no 90 degree angle on that H, so do not say that is the height. Alright, so this is not the height. So be very careful. Students mix that up all the time. You're looking for that 90 degree angle. So let's go down here. AB is an altitude, find x, and then the other one is AB is an altitude, find x. So let's do number 4 together. So if this is an altitude, what does an altitude form? A 90 degree angle. Okay, it's going to form a 90 degree angle. So that means 5 times x minus 10 equals 90. What do we do next here? Well, I would distribute my 5. So 5x minus 50 equals 90. Now what's next? I would add my 50. So 5x equals 140. What would be next here? Divide by 5. So x equals, let's see, 5 goes into 14 twice, and then 5 goes into 40 28 times. So I believe it's x equals 28. I would like you to try this one on your own. Okay, so try this one on your own, and we will talk about that one in class. But you need to try it. Have it done for class. Number 5, AB is a median. So I'm going to get you started on this. If something is a median, what does that mean? Go back and look at your notes if you need to. A median means it splits it into 2 congruent parts. So in the picture, AB is your median. So if AB is your median, it's splitting something into 2 congruent parts. Well, look at your picture. What is it splitting into? Side CD. So that means these two right here are congruent. So I'm going to start with this. 13x plus 30 equals 3x plus 60. Okay? So what would you do next here to solve? I personally would subtract 3x. And if I do that, I have 10x plus 30 equals 60. What would you do next here to solve? I would subtract 30. So 10x equals 30. And what's next here? Divide and get 3. So now we know x is 3. What I would like you to do is I would like you to go through and I would like you to fill in AC. Notice AC is right here. I would like you to fill in AD, which is right there. And I would also like you to tell me what CD is, which is this whole entire piece right here. Okay, whole piece right here. And then at the end, if you can do it, find the perimeter. So I would like you to try, you finish this one, and then we'll go over it when you get to class. All right, so let's look at C. I'm sorry, 6. Why did I say C? On 6 it says AB is an altitude. What does altitude mean? Altitude means it's going to form a 90 degree angle. So let's look at the picture. AB forms a 90 degree angle. That must mean that 4x plus 10 is equal to 90 degrees. So 4x plus 10 equals 90. What would we do to both sides here? We would subtract the 10. So 4x equals 80. Now what? Divide by 4. And x equals 20. Now that we know x equals 20, what I would like you to do is to go through, and I would like you to tell me what angle D is, and I would like you to find out what angle 1 is, all right? And bring those to class. So you will finish these ones, okay? I hope you enjoyed our magnificent lesson, and I hope you're super excited about doing the activity in class tomorrow too. Have a wonderful day.